Hey guys, welcome back to our Holy Week celebration here with Refuge Church Nashville. Bienvenidos otra vez a nuestra celebración de la Semana Santa con Iglesia Refugio Nashville. We've been so blessed to be able to bring you music and teaching each night as we continue to walk towards the cross of Calvary. Estamos muy emocionados que podemos proveer enseñanzas y música en camino al cruz del Calvario. And tonight we are pleased to have our very own Trey Hester with us. Our own youth pastor, Trey Hester, is going to be presenting the word tonight, as well as Iván Díaz from Guatemala. Estamos emocionados que vamos a escuchar de dos predicadores en esta noche, Trey Hester, el pastor de jóvenes de nuestra iglesia, y también Iván Díaz de Iglesia Bautista Shalom in Guatemala. A little bit later on in our program, we're also going to be hearing the music from Gabby Betancourt. En un ratito vamos a tener la música de Gabby Betancourt, and also in just a little while later, we're going to be hearing the music of Jeff Slaughter. También en un ratito vamos a escuchar la música de Jeff Slaughter, but right now we're going to be hearing an interview with Jeff. He and I have been friends for 35 years, and so we got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get right to it. Voy a tener una entrevista primero con Jeff Slaughter, porque a ser honesto, hemos tenido una amistad por 35 años, tenemos mucho de decir, entonces vamos a escuchar este primero.
Well, originally a Mississippi boy, grew up there and got involved with music really early. My family's very musical, and so I graduated, was going to major in music, started at Mississippi State, but decided to come here, moved here to go to Belmont. That's how I met Mark's family. I lived with his grandmother during the summers while I was at Belmont, and that's how he and I met, and then began doing ministry together, and we kind of went through the ministry school together. We were Rhodes Scholars together in ministry, traveling. We did the biggest and the smallest camps. I mean, we've done like cabins in the woods, sleeping on settees. then 4,000 member Korean churches where nobody could speak English. And
yes. That brings us. Tell me, I know this is really kind of narcissistic, but tell me one of your favorite memories of us together over the years.
Oh, gosh.
I got a few, but I want to hear from you.
You go first. Give me.
All right. Well, it's actually more of a serious one, but the first time we got you to come to Guatemala with us, and we were leading worship, and you usually you don't script anything. It's just, hey, whatever the Spirit leads, go. And my Spanish was still weak at the time, but I remember that you just started vamping, and you were just like singing over the congregation in English, and I was like doing this response thing in Spanish, and it was so cool. And I'd never done that before like that in that situation, but I just remember just really sensing God's presence when we were doing that. It was so much fun, and then all the Hillmont experiences over the years, before there was projection units, and I remember holding up the big poster board every time we would do songs and stuff.
We would pick kids to be the poster child for each night. To flip the poster. We had an easel and poster board. We didn't have an overhead projector with the cells or anything. I mean it was, we were in the pioneer days of children. Okay, I know I'm moving funny, but when I was laughing a while ago, I had a cramp in my abdomen. I can't get it out.
Okay, you heard it here first. Jeff gets a hernia.
Well, I get a hernia
laughing while we're interviewing. That would be amazing.
I'm doing this. I'm like, oh my God, I won't let go. I can't. No, I know everybody thinks, what is he doing? I'm having a seizure over here trying to get this cramp to release.
Man, that's gonna make man. That's classic TV. Thank you so much for that, Jeff.
We're talking about Easter.
I was like, what is he doing? Why is he standing up?
I had to pull the chair out. I was trying to put a position on the chair where I could straight out Oh my goodness! Of course it would do.
Hey, and then there would be all the many talent shows that we participate with over the years.
You remember me singing at that watermelon spitting contest in Arkansas? Watermelon seed spitting contest, which it was a big event. I mean, they were like a big stadium football, high school football.
It was called the Watermelon Bust, by the way.
The Watermelon Bust.
And I still have a picture of that somewhere. If I can find it, I'll superimpose it in this interview just for you.
And remember I sang that song, throw down your rope.
Ropes.
If you really want to touch the Lord. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not my finest hour. Not my finest hour.
Well, it was your finest hour for the moment.
For the moment. For
the day.
1986, 85, 86, whenever that was. I mean.
For the day. That was great. All
Yeah.
right. So tell me what you're hearing from
You
the Lord
know,
these days.
I tell everybody I'm just Chrissy Laning it. One day at a time. Oh my goodness. That's my favorite saying because it is true. I mean, you can't let your mind go to how long it's going to be or when what's going to be happening after this. You got to stay in the moment. And that's what the Lord says. Don't worry about what's ahead of you or behind you. Stay in today and focus on what I'm doing today. And today the Lord has given us a sunny day and I'm looking at you, a person that I love, a person that brings me comfort that I've known for 35 years. That's a brother that, it's our relationships. It gives us peace and gives us a sense of security and normalcy. When I'm with you, I feel normal, and we can laugh but he's always in control and he's always working for our good. And we had to go back to those promises always. And the irony of social distancing is that we're all reaching out to each other so strong, so, in such a way, in the ways that we can, but we're desperate for each other right now because I've been hearing from people that I've not heard from in years, reconnecting, FaceTime. I'm FaceTiming. I don't ever FaceTime. I don't want to FaceTime. I wouldn't feel like I look dumb or whatever. And I'm FaceTiming everybody because I want to see their face. I want to feel that connection, and it's all we got right now. And so you looking at the things the Lord's given you in simplicity, it's the simple things, it is a sunny day. It is a walk around the neighborhood. It's a conversation. It is something to just ground you for the day. And it's him, his word, and the people that he puts in our life to show himself to us and show his love to us,
Yeah, it's so funny.
Hey church, it's Trey. I'm excited to bring this message to you from John chapter 13. This is an awesome Easter week that we've had, and I'm excited to see every video that comes out every night, and it's just a good thing that God's doing through this church. This is really cool. So I'm also excited to hear from our Guatemalan friends, Ivan and Pastor Alvaro, and it's going to be really cool to hear from them. I can't wait to see those. But we're going to be in John chapter 13, verse 21 through 32, and we're going to be talking about the betrayal, or what is leading up to actually the betrayal of Jesus. It says in John chapter 13, verse 21, it says, "After these things, Jesus was troubled in his spirit and testified, 'Truly, truly, I say to you, one of you will betray me.' The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he spoke. One of his disciples, whom Jesus loved, was reclining at table at Jesus' side. So Simon Peter motioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So that disciple, leaning back against Jesus, said to him, 'Lord, who is it?' Jesus answered, 'It is he to whom I give this morsel of bread when I have dipped it.' So when he had dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. Then after he had taken the morsel, Satan entered into him. Jesus said to him, 'What you are going to do, do it quickly.' Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Judas had the money bag, Jesus was telling him, 'Buy what you need for the feast,' or that he should give something to the poor. So after receiving the morsel of bread, he immediately went out, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, 'Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself and glorify him at once.'" And so let's kind of set the scene here as John is setting the scene. So they're all sitting together, they're having a dinner, they're having a supper, they're sitting around a table, they're reclining around this table, okay? So they're laying up against this table in a way that they could all see each other and still eat, but they're reclining. So they're actually almost like chest to chest, like I'm reclining this way and then someone's right behind me reclining, and someone's right behind them reclining. And so what's really interesting here is that you see that whenever they're talking to each other, whenever one of them has to talk to the other, you have to lean up against the chest of that person and look up and start talking to them there. And so it's this really intimate moment that Jesus is having with his disciples right now, and he's teaching them. And then all of a sudden, in the very first of what we read, he becomes troubled in spirit, and so they're talking to each other about this, and he says one of you is going to betray me. So they're talking back and forth, and Peter's trying to get attention of John, and John's asking Jesus what's going on. And so turns out Jesus knows from the very beginning that this is going to happen, that Judas is going to betray him, and he's speaking it right now. He's prophesying it, like this is going to happen. And so the first thing that we see from kind of popping out of this passage is that Jesus is in complete control of his death, of this actual betrayal itself. He's in complete control of it. So he not only predicts it, but he actually commands Judas. Look at what it says in verse 27. He said, then after he had taken the morsel, Satan entered into him. That's talking about Judas. Then Jesus said to him, what you are going to do it quickly. So he actually commands him to go and do the thing that is going to betray him, that is actually going to send him to the cross. So he predicts it, and then he commands Judas to go finish what he's going to do. And so he's in complete control of this moment right here. Not only that, but he is absolutely determined to finish his mission, to complete this mission. I'm reminded of John 10:18, just a couple of chapters before, where Jesus is talking about his life, and he says, no one takes it from me, my life, no one takes it from me, but I lay it down of my own accord. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to take it up again. This charge I have received from my Father. So there's nothing that's going to get in the way of him completing that mission. I'm going to do it. No one takes it from me. No one takes my life from me. I'm laying my own life down. I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. Also, another awesome verse is Hebrews 12:2. It says, looking to Jesus, this is what we're doing as Christians. We're looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. So Jesus looked toward the cross. He saw his betrayal coming. He actually commands it. And he looks to the cross and looks to his death and to his burial and resurrection. He sees that, and he is absolutely determined to glorify God and to save the lost. Church, that means that he was absolutely determined to save you. Nothing could get in his way. Nothing could slow him down. Nothing was out of his control all the way up through that moment and into the cross and into the grave and into resurrection. It was all in his control and all under his authority, and he was determined to do it. Man, I love that. Anyway, so the next thing that we kind of see popping out of the scripture here is verse 20. So I'm going to read verse 26 and 27. It says, Jesus answered, it is he to whom I will give this morsel of bread when I have dipped it. So when he had dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, signifying that Judas is the one that is going to betray him, right? He gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. Then after he had taken the morsel, Satan entered into him. Jesus said to him, what you are going to do it quickly. And so I'm thinking about this whole thing that's happening right here. Like a bunch of friends and really close friends are sitting together. They're having food, and all of a sudden one of them gets up and he leaves to betray Jesus. Judas is going to betray Jesus. And so I was just thinking, okay, who is Judas? I want to think of, and we need to think of the biggest reality, biblical reality of who Judas is. Because he was one of the disciples, right? So that means he was one of the closest friends of Jesus. Like, we're talking top 12 here. He may not be top 3, but he's top 12 closest friends of Jesus because he spent the most time with them, right? We know that the disciples evangelized and ministered for Jesus. So Judas absolutely did that. And probably we know that whenever Jesus sent the disciples out, he sent them out with miracles. They were able to do miraculous signs to show the coming kingdom. And so probably, it's very probable that Judas did miracles whenever he was ministering as well. And he not only that, he had also seen a bunch of the miracles that Jesus had done. And then finally, he spent countless hours with Jesus over 3 years. Like, he was just constantly living with Jesus and traveling with Jesus and praying with Jesus and eating with Jesus, just countless hours upon hours upon hours of being with Jesus. And the tragedy is, though, that he still betrayed Jesus for money. He betrayed Jesus. He never repented. And then he went and killed himself. And now he's in hell forever, separated from Jesus forever. I mean, is that not one of the greatest tragedies that you could think of? I can't think of hardly anything else worse than that. To be with Jesus, like so close to Jesus for so long, seeing so many things, and never having trusted Jesus with your life. So what I'm getting from this is, and what we should take away from this is that even though we could be friendly with Jesus, we could do things for Jesus, we can minister and evangelize even. We can spend countless hours with Jesus. We can pray and read our Bibles and go to church just over and over and over, week after week, and still miss the boat because we're not actually trusting in Jesus. We're not placing our faith in Him. We're not seeking Jesus out. Let's end with this. I want to end with this verse in Matthew. And it says this. It's talking about what our faith is actually supposed to look like. It says this in Matthew 13:44. It says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field which a man found and covered up. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field." So there's our challenge today, that we can have all these things on the outside. It looks good, and we spend time in prayer, and we spend time reading our Bibles. But if we don't seek Jesus as the greatest treasure, and we treasure other things over Jesus like Judas did, then we don't have salvation. We don't actually have Jesus because we don't submit to Jesus as Lord. We don't actually place our faith in Jesus. So 2 things here. One of them is really sobering, and it's a warning even that we can live like Judas did and still miss the boat and still not actually place our faith in Jesus, not actually submit to Him as Lord, not actually seek Jesus out as the greatest treasure. So that's the sobering thought. It's a warning that we need to check ourselves for that. Where are we in that? But also the other side of that is that the great reality of Jesus as the one who's in complete authoritative control of His own betrayal, of His own death, who is absolutely determined to save you, to glorify God, to save His church. He's gonna do it. Nothing will stop Him. There's John 13. I hope you have enjoyed, and look forward to seeing everyone else's videos as well. See you guys.
He cares, so let the power of God carry you in His righteous hand. He's near, and He hears every prayer, every praise that we breathe, as we give Him the best that we can. God expects us to obey, so we choose to walk in His ways. He cares, He's near, He hears. He's power, He's God, He's here. He cares, so let the power of God carry you in His righteous hand. He's near, and He hears every prayer, every praise that we breathe, as we give Him the best that we can. God expects us to obey, so we choose to walk in His ways. He cares, He's near, He hears. He's power, He's God, He's God expects us to obey, so we choose to walk in His ways. He cares, He's near, He hears. He's power, He's God, He's
Hey, if you've been enjoying our celebration of Holy Week, you don't want to miss tomorrow night. Si estás disfrutando mucho a nuestra celebración de Semana Santa, no olviden mañana en la noche. We're going to be hearing the teachings from Ed Ollie, one of my favorite friends and pastors from Chicago. Vamos a escuchar las enseñanzas de Pastor Ed Ollie de Chicago. Él es uno de mis favoritas. And even more favorite, we've got my wife, Andrea Smith, is going to be leading us in Spanish. También la otra favorita de mí, más allá de todo, mi esposa Andrea va a ofrecer las enseñanzas mañana en español. So right now we're going to get right back into it with a little bitty interview with Gabby Betancourt.
Yeah, so tengo mis abuelitos que viven en Ecuador. My grandparents are still in Ecuador and they are doing well. We have a couple friends that are taking care of them, checking up on them, making sure that they have everything they need. Estamos muy bendecidos de tener amigos que están dispuestos a ver por ellos y darnos noticias de cómo están ellos. And my parents live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I have one sister. Mis padres siguen en Chattanooga con mi hermana y I moved to Clovis, New Mexico in 2018. Yo vivo ahora en Clovis, en Nuevo México, desde el 2018. I got a new puppy.
Yay!
Hi,
¿Cómo se llama?
Mia.
Hey, Mia. How are you?
I just
¿Cómo
got
está
home,
Mia?
so she wants my attention.
Does she speak Spanish or English?
She's bilingual.
Tell me how you're finding your joy right now in the middle of all this craziness. What are you doing just to connect with God and just to maintain your spiritual health right now? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I've been encouraged. So like I play the guitar, but I haven't done that for me in forever. So in this time that I do try to find time to just sit down and, try to have some worship sessions just by myself, just remembering what I used to, how I used to do it with other people. And so it's been a blessing to just be part of connecting with God that way. And so la música siempre ha sido parte de mí y no he podido hacer mucho de eso durante estos últimos años que he estado aquí y he tomado tiempo durante esta temporada de cuarentena para poder cantar un poco y alabar al Señor por medio de la música.
Dios les bendiga, hermanos y hermanas. Queremos enviar un fraternal saludo a nuestra familia espiritual en la Iglesia Refugio en la ciudad de Nashville, Tennessee, de parte de Iglesia Bautista Shalom en la ciudad de Guatemala. Es un gusto y un privilegio poder comunicarnos hoy con ustedes de esta manera. Queremos también recordar y celebrar que nos estamos acercando hacia la conmemoración de un evento fundamental en la fe nuestra, que es la muerte y la resurrección de nuestro Señor Jesús. Y estamos leyendo en el Evangelio según San Juan, en el capítulo 13, y justamente antes, en el inicio del capítulo, hay algunas palabras del Señor Jesús que son hermosas. Bueno, todas son hermosas, pero Jesús nos promete la llegada del Espíritu Santo. Jesús allí expone la Trinidad de una manera tan clara. Promete la llegada del Espíritu Santo, profesa que comparten la misma sustancia, Él, el Espíritu y el Padre. El mismo Espíritu que fue prometido en ese pasaje es el mismo Espíritu que está hoy en nosotros y en ustedes, hermanos. Es el Espíritu de la promesa. Son las arras que Él nos dio. Justamente después de eso, en el versículo 21, Juan 13, 21, se lee así: como hubo dicho Jesús esto. Por eso quería explicarlo, porque dice como hubo dicho Jesús esto, que hay una línea directa entre el Espíritu Santo, Jesús y el Padre. Como hubo dicho esto, fue conmovido en el Espíritu y protestó y exclamó y dijo: de cierto os digo que uno de vosotros va a entregarme. Algunos predicadores dicen que Judas no estaba en la cena del Señor, en la última cena, pero la verdad es que las escrituras nos indican que él sí estuvo presente en el Evangelio de Mateo, Marcos, Lucas y por supuesto en el de Juan. Es bien claro que Judas estaba sentado a la mesa del Señor. Alrededor de Jesús están sucediendo acontecimientos cósmicos. La creación se conmovía en cada uno de sus pasos, con cada una de sus palabras. Las acciones de Jesús hacían temblar el status quo religioso, el status quo político, el balance espiritual de las potestades celestiales. Estaba en completo relajo, en completo desarreglo por la llegada de Jesús. Pero las acciones de este carpintero magnético también tenían virulentas repercusiones en las mentes de sus seguidores, en sus discípulos. En unos para vida y en otros para muerte. Tengo que hablar de la traición de Judas hacia el Maestro. Y no podemos inventarnos o imaginarnos las intenciones de Judas. para traicionar a Jesús. No podemos y no debemos asegurar algo sobre la vida de este hombre. Antes de Jesús no sabemos casi nada. Algunos dicen que venía de una ciudad de Judea que se llamaba Keriot, y de ahí viene el nombre Iscariote, así se les llamaba, algunos historiadores piensan. Otros piensan que Judas pertenecía a una facción extremista de nacionalistas judíos, de judíos nacionalistas, que tenían más que todo un interés político de liberar a Israel. Pero la Biblia sí nos da algunas luces sobre lo que ocurría en la mente de estos jóvenes fervorosos. Antes de llegar a este momento culminante de la cena, se ha venido desarrollando un crescendo. Se ha venido como inflando un globo que dibuja de alguna manera el corazón de los discípulos. Entre ellos, el corazón, por supuesto, de Judas. En distintas ocasiones, en diferentes lugares, en diferentes momentos, los seguidores de Jesús discutían y disputaban quién sería el mayor entre ellos, es decir, cómo se iban a repartir los puestos en el gabinete de gobierno de Jesús. Esto lo vemos en Lucas capítulo 9, lo vemos en Lucas capítulo 22, está también en Mateo capítulo 20, en Marcos 9. Así que es seguro decir que los apóstoles y los seguidores de Jesús tenían la expectativa de que Jesús había venido a instaurar en aquel momento el reino prometido en las Escrituras, el reino davídico, de justicia y paz. Y es cierto, ese es el reino que Jesús había venido a instaurar, pero no tenía la forma que sus seguidores esperaban. En el reino de Jesús las cosas estaban boca arriba, estaban al revés. La gente esperaba un Mesías recio, un rey vengador, un comandante violento que desalojara a las fuerzas invasoras. Querían un liberador para poder ejercer su religión, su política y su comercio con libertad. Pero el reino de Jesús no es nada de lo que ellos puedan hacer sentido. Jesús no es el rey davídico que ellos esperaban. Jesús se presenta como un maestro joven, discreto, de una familia sin recursos económicos, sin recursos políticos, sin rayos saliéndole de la boca. Y mire, la cereza en el helado está justamente antes de este pasaje. Es el momento del lavamiento de los pies. La Biblia nos dice que los apóstoles aún no han entendido de qué se trata el reino de Cristo, el reino de los cielos. Jesús aplasta la idea del rey vengador que los discípulos tienen, del Mesías que ellos querían, un profeta recio de fuego y relámpagos. Y en vez de eso, justamente antes de este pasaje, Jesús se pone en calzoncillos y empieza a lavarle los pies. Se pone en la posición del esclavo. No, pensaron los discípulos, no un esclavo. Necesitamos un vengador. Sin duda los 11, llenos de la gracia de Dios, quizás no comprendieron, pero sí recibieron la palabra y el testimonio que Jesús les daba. Creo que fue en ese momento que Judas tuvo la confirmación de que el futuro al que Jesús se arrojaba no le favorecía a él, a Judas. El rey en el que Jesús se iba a convertir no le interesaba a Judas, no era de su conveniencia. La Escritura nos dice que Jesús no necesita que le hablen de las personas, pues él conoce a todas las personas. Conociendo los impulsos de Judas, le dice en el siguiente versículo: uno de vosotros me ha de entregar. Es un poco difícil entender un poquito esta configuración porque dice la palabra que uno de los discípulos, el discípulo amado, se recuesta en el regazo de Jesús. Lo que pasa es que nos han engañado con la idea, con la pintura esta de Leonardo da Vinci de la Santa Cena, donde Jesús se ve sentado en una mesa larga con los discípulos, 6 de un lado y 6 al otro. No había mesa en ese tiempo, hermanos. Las culturas orientales semíticas utilizaban quizás un taburete o una alfombra en el piso, y entonces la mano izquierda estaba apoyada en el suelo y estaban recostados o casi acostados sobre la alfombra, y con esta mano, con la mano derecha, tomaban la comida y los pies quedaban en la dirección opuesta a la alfombra, y entonces por eso es que la persona de enfrente quedaba cerca de mi pecho, y si él se recostaba quedaba casi acostado sobre mí, ¿verdad? Y entonces por eso es que Juan, que es el discípulo amado, puede recostarse sobre Jesús en un gesto de confianza, de cariño fraternal, y le dice: ¿quién es el que te va a traicionar? Y es difícil como darle la importancia si no conocemos el contexto. Es aquel a quien yo le dé el pedazo de pan que voy a mojar. Había una artesa o una fuente donde había aceite de oliva. Y entonces uno agarraba pan, mojaba el pan en el aceite de oliva y comía. Entonces, por eso es que mojan el pan. También habían recados, se hacían recaditos. Y entonces la gente tomaba el pan y lo mojaba. Aquel a quien le dé un pedazo de pan que voy a mojar, y después de mojar el pedazo de pan se lo dio a Judas Iscariote. Este versículo es el cumplimiento de la profecía dada cientos de años antes, que dibujaba esta misma escena en el Salmo 41:9. Escuche, Salmo 41:9. Dice el autor: el que partía el pan conmigo se ha levantado y me ha traicionado. Esa es una profecía que habla de esta escena que estamos viendo ahora en Juan capítulo 13. Y quiero decirle, hermano, que usted no se debe engañar. Este pasaje no es una vitrina para que nosotros estemos parados afuera como espectadores. No es una escena para entretenernos o dejarnos una muy buena moraleja. No, hermanos, esta escena es un roleplay. Es la oportunidad de que usted decida quién es usted dentro de esta escena. ¿Usted siente que nadie entiende su dolor? Bueno, Jesús fue traicionado por su hombre de confianza en el peor momento. Iván, es que usted no entiende lo que a mí me hicieron. Es cierto, no entiendo, pero Jesús sí entiende, porque Él se hizo como uno de nosotros para sufrir como uno de nosotros. Si somos honestos, también debemos reconocer que estamos sentados en la banca de los traidores. Sí, hermano, sí, hermana, usted y yo. Había más de un traidor esa noche junto al Señor Jesús en la mesa. Este día usted y yo estamos sentados en la misma banca de Judas y Pedro. Ambos, Judas y Pedro, traicionaron la confianza de Jesús y sus promesas al Señor Jesús, pero uno pereció bajo el peso de su culpa y el otro renació por causa del arrepentimiento. La Biblia nos dice en el versículo 27 que el enemigo entró en Judas, que el Señor lo reprenda. Y es interesante cómo Hollywood nos ha engañado y nos ha vendido la idea de que la posesión demoníaca es una posesión cinemática y espectacular. Pero mire usted aquí en el versículo 27 con qué tranquilidad y con qué frialdad este hombre poseído por el demonio sale a hacer esta fechoría sin decir nada y sin que nadie lo note. Estamos engañados sobre la manera en que nuestro enemigo se presenta y sobre la manera en cómo trabaja en nuestra contra. Al igual como lo dicen estos versículos en versículos 28 y 29, ninguno de nosotros entiende la vida espiritual de los otros. Pero Jesús sí conoce y no hay nada oculto para Él. No importa dónde nos congregamos, no importa qué puesto tenemos en la iglesia, Jesús conoce qué hay en nuestro corazón. Jesús fue compasivo y amable aún con este que le iba a entregar en las manos de sus enemigos. Dice la palabra que Jesús no apaga la candela que aún humea y que no rompe la vara que está seca. Quizás su vela se ha apagado y está humeante. Quizás hoy nuestras ramas están secas. Este es el momento del arrepentimiento y regresar a la mesa con Jesús y aceptar a Jesús y su reino como viene, no como nosotros queremos. Aceptar la voluntad de Dios porque es buena, agradable y perfecta y no porque está alineada con nuestro plan estratégico. Despojémonos hoy de toda culpa y abracemos el arrepentimiento delante de nuestro Señor Jesús. Que en estas celebraciones nosotros podamos recordar la promesa y la esperanza que tenemos en el sacrificio que hizo Jesús por nosotros. Que Dios bendiga su palabra y que el Espíritu llene su iglesia, su casa y su vida.
Hey, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. If you've got any questions about your salvation, about where you stand with God, I want to encourage you to go to our website, and there's a tab called Save that you can find out more about what it means to have Christ in your life. Si tiene preguntas acerca de tu salvación, como respuesta a las prédicas en esta noche, puedes buscar en nuestro sitio de web en refugechurchnashville.com y hay una página que se llama Salvado y tú puedes entender más, puedes leer más acerca del camino de Cristo en la vida. Also, don't forget that we'll all be celebrating online Easter together, 9:30 in Spanish and 11 o'clock in English, both on Facebook Live and on YouTube. No olviden que vamos a celebrar en línea el Día de Resurrección, 9:30 en español, a las 11 en inglés, en el YouTube y en Facebook Live. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Gracias por estar con nosotros en esta noche.